Hey, this is Jim. It is 11:39 a.m. in San Francisco, California on May the 2nd. Please note that all discussions, analysis, information presented are for general informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial or any other form of professional advice. So we tracked here into a zone of weakness this morning and then turned up exactly into the zones of strength. We're heading into a more powerful zone of strength here. 11:40 to about 12:35 PST. You guys can see this is the 24-hour model. You guys can see this hidden retest here at the 568 level. You could see where price was rejected at the session high, 574, exactly at our Anemoi weekly trigger, 574. That's the level that these guys need to keep price below. Otherwise, they're risking a runaway move to the upside. You guys can see here since the last video that I made that we've had a dropout, price dropout. We had a high velocity reentry right here. And that was, yesterday afternoon. So if I wanted to, resize this chart for you, I could show you where this price level this price move would have attacked our speed line. And that, of course, creates a pay me later level in my work. So we had another reentry here, but not a high velocity reentry. I don't really love those types of reentries. I'd consider that more just a bull crawl up our uptrend line here. But this was definitely a dropout and a high velocity reentry there. So if we shot a vertical line straight up off of that bar, wherever it collides with this speed line, that's where you create your pay me later level if you guys want to do this on your own. I don't want to jack up this chart while I'm making this video. I'll show you guys what the volume looks like. Pretty interesting Donnybrook going on here. So if I carry you guys back to that sort of key volume reversal, that was where the bad guys had posted this 3.9 million volume share red bar. In other words, price closing red, 3.9 million. That's when we needed to see a 4 million volume bar closing green. We ended up getting an 11.8 million volume bar, 60-minute volume bar closing green. And so that paints through. That's a bullish engulfing volume bar based on the way I do things. And that set up this nice uptrend that we're in right now. It's grinding, but up is good, especially with the guys that we're trying to compete against here and the unlevel playing field. So we then saw subsequent price spikes out of this nesting volume area that were green bars. They painted a red bar this morning on the first hour, during the first hour of trading. Today's May the 2nd. And although it was a larger volume bar than the previous green bars here, it was not. It was less than our 426 green bar. So this green bar right here, this morning's red bar was less volume than that. If we want to see acceleration, though, we want to engulf this morning's red bar. So this is the Donnybrook. You're getting, they had a red bar. We engulf it with a green, and we post some greens. They try to engulf us with a red, and they do engulf some of these lesser volume spikes, but not this key green bar on the 26th. So now, if we want to look at this as a new structure, and here's this yellow downtrend line here. So this is a brand new sort of structure here that we can analyze. And this white horizontal line represents nesting or resting volume. You guys familiar with my work, you recognize this. So the point at which the downtrend, this yellow downtrend, collides with the nesting or resting volume, that's where we're looking for volume to start to pick up again. And then what we want to see is a green volume bar that engulfs this red volume bar. Again, if we go back to the previous structure, we're still in a buy, and everything's beautiful as far as the volume characteristics, because they haven't been able to paint through this 11.8 million share green bar yet. But if we want to drop down to this new structure, you can think of this as a nesting fractal within this larger fractal here that launched this advance. If we want to really see some a new leg up, and potentially coincident with a break of this important 574 weekly trigger on the Anemoi terminal, we want to see a 4.5 million share green bar to engulf this morning's red bar. So that's what that looks like. If I back up really quickly to the 240 minute, just in case you haven't seen any of my past videos, you guys can see how nicely off of this turning point low that price is tracked up toward this zone of strength. This is an opportunity zone. If you want to be neutral, it's an opportunity zone. In my work, I call them zones of strength, because I have a bunch of other information in my various fractals that generate information about future zones of strength and weakness. So that's the predictive part of my model, and it's based on something that I created on my own. Anyway, if we start to track up, you can see where price was rejected off of that 574 weekly trigger, but also it's lining up perfectly with potential reentry above this yellow uptrend line. This is a secondary uptrend line within this expanding megaphone melt-up fractal. This thick yellow line is your primary, and the reason I'm showing this 745 vibration level is because if you guys are familiar with my work, you know that this hidden retest level right here, as price moves down through that hidden retest level, we call this the A leg. We call the attack, the retest of the hidden retest level, we call that the B. This is the C. So this requires a D and an E just to satisfy the minimum requirements for what we call vibration within the normal vibration sequence within the normal human bull versus bear battleground. So again, if we were to move back up and satisfy sort of a minimum requirement in behavioral analysis, by default, we're going to be re-entering above this secondary uptrend line, which is all part of this larger expanding megaphone melt-up fractal. So, these guys are going to be fighting like hell to prevent re-entry. And again, any move above that 574 level for the rest of this week can kick things off. At that point, you just want to look for volume characteristics. And if we want to see something that resembles the May-June 2021 run, in my work at least, we're going to need to see what I call ignition volume. It's completely different than this sort of trending volume technique that I use. So ignition volume means 15 million shares on a 60-minute price bar, a green price bar, right? It has to be closing to the upside, so it has to be green. 15 million shares or more, and you have to post 3 consecutive bars. If you do, a 16 million share green bar, a 22 million share green bar, but then you have a red followed by another green, that doesn't get it. We need 3 consecutive green bars. Can happen at any point during the session. They tend to kick off from the opening hour of trading and then hour 2, hour 3, but it can happen at any time during the trading session. But based on everything I study, I'm thinking 15 million shares. There's nothing real magic about that. All I did was I looked at the original ignition volume, which was 30 million shares per 60-minute bar back in 2021. And since Adam Aaron did what he did with Ape, I just chopped that number in half. So 15 million shares, 3 consecutive green bars, and especially at that point, if you're above 574 or better yet above the 823 Anemoi monthly trigger, you could be off and running and start to attack some of my different hidden retest levels of the upside. That's it from my side. Good luck, you guys.